Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, episode 212, titled Camelot/3000, which premiered Tuesday, February 21st, 2017 on the CW. So guys, quick reminder, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode, go see it first before you check out what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen right now. Take time to remind yourself, and with that said, though, let's start with the 10-minute clock. Let's begin with what happened in this episode. Sorry guys, I'm recording at 1:20 in the morning right now. So with that said, what happened? Timeline wise, we are jumping to Detroit in the year 3000, and then also jumping back to Camelot or medieval England in 507 AD. So huge time jump differences that we get to see. We get to see future high tech, and we get to see really medieval stuff. Huge episode reminders the fact that we see the JSA again, and they're protecting the different pieces of the Spear of Destiny. Villains that we see, though, are the Legion of Doom, specifically Rip Hunter and Damien Dark. So there's that story. Breakdown for this episode, though, is the fact in Detroit 3000 we go to first. We see Rip Hunter killing Dr. Midnight for his piece of the Spear of Destiny, which he actually hid inside of him since he's working in a cybernetic implant facility. With that said, that means that the piece has to be really small in order for him to do that. Unless in the future he managed to shrink it down. But we don't actually see what the piece looks like. So there's that. We also get some future tech from there that has to do with mind control or possible mind control. I'll leave it at that though. And then we jump back to medieval England, 507 AD, where we go to Camelot. So with that though, we encounter Stargirl, and she is masquerading as Merlin, and she actually stays in that time because she found a home there, as well as she fell in love with King Arthur. Also, her piece of the Spear of Destiny was attached to the famous sword in the stone. And later on, by the end of the episode, Amaya is actually given the piece to fulfill Stargirl's destiny of keeping it safe. We also find out in this episode that the Spear of Destiny was broken into 4 pieces, and Rip Hunter has 2 of them. So he has Dr. Midnight's piece, and he has his own piece. Now the Legends team has the 3rd piece, which was the end piece of the sword. So there's still 1 piece that is unaccounted for, that we have to look for. Last moments of the episode show Rip Hunter in a cell in the Wave Rider, but he's calling upon Gideon for some assistance from the looks of it. What was the most shocking moment of the episode? Let's move on to that. And it was I don't know why, but for some reason the fact that Stargirl found love in King Arthur was what was surprising. Again, it showed a loveless marriage between King Arthur and Queen Guinevere. Again, it showed the fact that Stargirl found love outside of the JSA, reason why she would abandon her duties as the JSA or abandon returning to them, I guess you could say. So I guess that was what was really surprising, that she would live in this medieval world that she didn't originate from. So there is that. Moving on though, top 3 favorite moments. My first one has to be Heatwave. Mick being the one who showed that he could control the whole mind control device when Professor Stein believed that it was him that could do it. It was just so funny how they came to realize that it was the intensity of Mick that was able to push through the device and impose his will on the recipient. So that was really great to see that whole test scene between Mick, Professor Stein, and Jax, and then just to have Mick be the one to really pour out all these really intense thoughts and emotions so that it overloads the recipients, the knight's recipient, the knights that had the device. So that was interesting to see. But I like Mick is always a fun character to see. Just his reactions, his commentary is just hilarious. And sometimes on point with what you were thinking. With just like the whole, yeah, I like him. I like his character. So it was just great to see him in that position when a lot of people look down on who he is or what he does and stuff like that. And it was great to see him agree to the fact that he wanted to go save Ray from himself in the fight. So he was willing to disobey orders from Sarah, obviously, just to help a buddy out. So I like that too. Second favorite moment for me has to be the fact that Rip calls upon Gideon at the very end. Yes, it's terrifying fact since it's evil Rip Hunter that we're dealing with, but what I liked about it is the way Rip says it. He calls upon Gideon, and she says, I'm here, Captain. And then Rip says, in response, you always are. And that's always a thing since the very beginning. Rip has, whenever he calls upon Gideon, and she always says, like, she's here for him. And he always comments right back saying, like, you always are. It's like saying, you always have my back. And even when Rip is evil, and to still give that response, yes, I'm afraid that evil Rip now has access to the ship through Gideon, but I love the fact that he still responds in the exact same way to Gideon. He still acknowledges the fact that Gideon's always been there for him, whether he's captain or not. So, I don't know why. I just liked it. Third favorite moment for me has to be the moment where Amaya tells Sarah off, that saying that she was wrong for letting Rip go when Jax had him cornered. Now, I totally agree with Amaya for this. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, though, but she says that, you know, in the previous episode, Sarah talks Jax down from killing Rip, and then he lowers the gun, and then Rip just walks away, and they don't go after him. Amaya really lays it in on him, saying that you shouldn't have done that. If you weren't going to kill him, she even comments the fact that JSA would have taken him as their prisoner. It's like, yes, that's what you should have done. If they had, and Amaya makes note of this, if they had taken Rip as a prisoner, then Dr. Midnight could have been alive. The Legion wouldn't have had a second Spear of Destiny piece with them. And that's all it. Yes, you would have saved Jax from not killing Rip and damaging his own self and who he is as a person, but you could have just taken him and held him in a cell and just leave him there, or find a way to reverse what was happened to him. So I really like that Amaya brought that up, and it really pointed out the fact that, well, you could have done this and you did it, and this is what happened because of it. So I just like that. I like that it was pointed out, and that it was brought to my attention when it happened too, because like now it's like, oh, that's obvious. Like, why didn't they do that? Moving on though to top 3 peeved moments. The only really peeve one I had was the fact that Ray went after Damien Dark and had that whole fight in the forest. Thankfully, he had the Atom suit on underneath his knight armor, but for a smart man, that was a very dumb move for him to do. I mean, Ray has no fight training whatsoever. He has no fight training whatsoever, yet he's going against a man who's been trained by the League of Assassins. He's known for being very deadly, and you expect to win against him in a sword fight? I mean, like, what did you really expect from that? Like, I admire Ray for wanting to believe in the noble cause and belief that came with Camelot, like his speech he gave with Nathan. But, like, again, for a smart man, he did a really dumb move. At least he wore the Atom suit underneath it, but why didn't he tap into that earlier? So that was my only peeve. Moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? Camelot. That's been a huge thing. Also, the fact that Nathan kept on saying this is not historically accurate. And he kept on referencing that as like, this should not be happening, this should not be happening. So it was fun to have those little comments as well, though. Moving on, though, random questions. First one, why were Sarah and Amaya during the whole battle scene, or the battlefield scene, why were they wearing capes? It just seemed like the whole time that they were just getting in their way. It wasn't a smart move. What Nathan wore was smart in the fact that he didn't have a cape to kind of hinder his arm movements or his weaponry movements and stuff like that. But the ladies, they were wearing a cape and it got in their way. It's like, doesn't that kind of slow you down in how you defend yourself and stuff like that? So it didn't make sense to me. It's like, why would you wear a cape to a battle? It's like, no, it's like someone could easily tug on it, someone can use it against you, you can get trapped somewhere, you can get tangled up in it while you're moving and grooving and stuff. But yeah, the whole time that was happening, it's like, why are you wearing a cape? It's like, really, why are you wearing a cape? It wasn't armor or anything, it wasn't like a protective shield or nothing, it was a cape. So yeah, there's that. Second question. I don't want to offend anything at all, but this is just really an observation, and I'm wondering if it's just me, but are they making Sarah hook up with, like, every female royalty that they meet? I mean, they did it with Queen Guinevere, so they did that. And then they did it with, the Queen of France in episode 201. And they did it in another time, I think. But, like, it seems like every time Sarah makes a genuine connection to someone they're supposed to be watching, obviously it's with a lady, because Sarah prefers women, but, like, it seems like it's always with women who are either in power, but they're also in a relationship with a man as well. So I don't know if that's a thing they're trying to do, but it doesn't, I don't know what they're trying to make of it. I'm just wondering if anyone else has picked up on that. Is it just me making too big of a deal out of this, which I don't mean to do, but it's just when she kind of set her eyes on Queen Guinevere this time, I kind of expected it, not just because of it's Sarah, but just because of the fact that in the past it was a female ruler, then, like, Sarah's gonna kind of get behind that type of thing. So I don't know. It's late again. Maybe I'm rambling. I don't know. But another thing, I am curious though, but nah, I'll bring it up later. Moving on though, predictions, since the bell ran off. Based off the promo for 213, it's actually going to skip another week. I don't know why, but it's coming back March 7th. And it looks like Rip is set loose on the Wave Rider. Gideon activates a self-destruct sequence, and it looks like we get to see 2 Sarahs. And one of them is dressed as White Canary. And also, if you notice that she hasn't dressed up as White Canary in a while, I think the last time she actually dressed up like that was in the crossover event. We haven't actually seen her in the whole getup and everything since then, so it'll be interesting to see her back in that. But based off the synopsis, though, for 213, it reads, after capturing Rip, he forces the Wave Rider to crash, leaving the legend stuck 70 million years in the past. Ray leads Amaya and Nate to recover a vital piece of the ship. In an effort to get the good Rip back, Rory suggests they enter Rip's mind, but what Sarah and Jax discover in his subconscious is not pleasant, and they must fight evil versions of themselves. Meanwhile, Nate and Amaya continue to grow closer, but it could cause serious ramifications. Professor Stein also stars. So the promo gives away nothing of the fact that they crash land 70 million years in the past, so that's a surprise from the synopsis. But evil versions of themselves. I'm excited to see that for sure. I am pissed, though, that I have to wait another week for a new episode, since we already just came off of a week of hiatus. We didn't have a new episode last week. So I don't know why they're having these randomly placed hiatuses, especially since the season only has 17 episodes. So I don't get why they don't just run right through it and then deal with the hiatuses between the other show. But anyways, that's all I have to say about the episode. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, opinions about that. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all in one place. So go check it out and follow me there if you like all that stuff. Also, my WordPress account is attached to that. It's a work in progress, but you can find more of everything I post there as well. It's a little more organized, in fact. So go check me out there. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry for a little bit of rambles or off-moment thoughts, tangents, I guess, if you will. But I do appreciate you tuning in. Hope you come back in 2 weeks to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now. I'm going to bed.